This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We were discussing about how to create a stored procedure. And as we know, inside stored procedure, we can have everything. So we can have temporary tables, we can have table variables, we can have DDL, DML, programming. And if you wanted to use return statement and everything, you should be able to use them. And how to create a stored procedure. So that we discussed yesterday, I think, right? And we also discussed about a deferred name resolution, why it is very, very important for the people. And create a proc with input parameters and output parameters. Why input parameters are important? What is the difference between a variable and a parameter also we discussed. Parameter to take the data from the client applications and again to give the data back to the client application. So input to take the data, output to give the data to the client applications, right? So if you wanted to use variables and other stuff, after begin, you can, whatever you're declaring, that is a variable. Within the braces, what you're declaring, so this is what is called parameters. Clear? We have two types of parameters. One is called input parameter, which is going to be used to take the data from the client applications. Output parameters are used to give back the data to the client applications. Okay, so that's what we discussed yesterday. I think we had seen one good example as well, right? Now, let me go back and let me go back here. So, where is my store procedure? Let me go to the programmability, store procedure. And this was a stored proc we were discussing. Let me write sp underscore help text. You can use stored proc name, right? Sp underscore help text stored proc name. You should be able to copy like this and see the complete stored proc. Okay. So now this is a stored proc, created by me yesterday. Create a proc, get my balance as the first thing is that the requirement is that I have to get given account number, given duration, given duration. I would like to get the data. So something that I would like to implement. Clear? So for that, two validations also I supposed to implement. One validation, check the account ID if exists or not. The second validation, start date is lesser than the end date. Okay, this is also one more condition I was looking into. So I'm able to, work it on it. There is no issue at all. So this is a simple stored proc I could, create yesterday, and I'm able to, tell you. So like that we can write any stored procedure, and with the help of one input parameter or zero input parameters or multiple input parameters or multiple input parameters and multiple output parameters as well. Am I clear? So now let me create one more stored procedure. Let me delete this because already it is gone centralized. Now let me create one more stored procedure. Create a proc user stored procedure USP. These are the naming conventions. If you want to follow, you can follow. Otherwise, leave it. Simply write the stored proc name. So use a stored procedure USP, and we can say get customers. Okay, get customers as begin. I wanted to get some customers here, but based on the input. Based on the input. So what is the input I would like to provide here at the rate branch ID? So based on the branch number you provide, you should be able to, get the data. So let me go to a table. So I go to account master table. I choose a branch number. So branch number is character 3. So what is the data type you should write? Branch number 3, right? So branch 3. So simple thing is that select star from the table name, account master table, where branch ID is equivalent to whatever you supply branch ID. So this will be the parameter. and that is what are going to be supplied here. Okay, let me create a simple stored proc. So created. Now how do we call this? Calling a stored proc is pretty much simple. Can I create a view? No, you cannot create a view because view cannot take a parameter. Okay, view cannot have this kind of a things. View can have a single query, that is fine, but view cannot have a parameter. So this must be implemented with the help of either stored procedure or with the function. But as of now, we don't know what is a function. So I should be able to use now stored proc. I have written this. When you go to the stored procedures and try to implement store procedures, and I wanted to see the stored proc here. You can now see get customers, right? So what customers you need, that you need to provide here. So call sp, how can we call? Exec stored proc name. And if you write a stored proc name, if you write a stored proc name, it is not going to be executing. It is telling me procedure or a function expects parameter, this value to be supplied. If you wanted to supply the value, you can also supply like this. You can say branch ID. You can say at the rate branch ID is equivalent to BR1. At the time of calling, you can also give like this. Okay, let me execute. You should be able to give like this if you wanted to specify the value. If I wanted to get a BR2 value, I can say BR2 data is this. Clear? So what happens is that inside your RAM, all parameters and variables are created inside RAM only. So when the execution starts in your RAM, okay, in your RAM, it's going to be creating a variable, the parameter called as a branch ID. So when you call like this value, BR2 value is going to be stored in this. Now, at the time of calling a stored procedure, so what happens is that this value, wherever it is there, the value will get supplied. Wherever branch ID equals to B at the rate BRID, the BR2 will get supplied. That's it, nothing else. Okay. So now this query will get executed. So whether it is a parameter or whether it is a variable, it's going to be declared in your RAM. So as soon as the execution is over, you should be able to remember that this will get destroyed or removed from the RAM automatically. So this will not be there in the RAM at all. Clear? As soon as the execution is over, this will get removed or this will get destroyed by the operating system. Okay. So the SQL server, no need. The SQL server will give a signal. I don't need to use this memory allocation anymore. You can just remove this. So this will get destroyed by the operating system. Clear? Now so you can call like this, or the another way of calling is that simply you don't supply any parameter ID. You simply give a space. Okay. So sorry, you simply give a space. It is a string value. You have to provide them in your this one. Clear? So if you wanted to have BR6 value, you should be able to give. But if you give a wrong number like BR69 or BR699, if you give something like this, and it is taking indirectly only three letters, because we're supplying three letters only, right? So it is, even though you are giving, it is taking only three letters and it is storing as a BR6 here, since you're able to get the data, because it is getting only three letters. But if you give a something like this, it is not going to be giving you any kind of a information, because whatever you are supplying, that is a wrong one. Clear? So that you need to tell the customer first. So what to implement, how to implement, you can try. So you need to exist whether this branch available. Otherwise, you need to tell them that this branch is not available. So that kind of a logic you need to implement. That's fine. But now, if I don't give anything, if I don't give anything here, it is going to be telling me it has to expect some kind of a parameter value. Now I want to give one extra thing here. So that is what is called alter, and I will give some default value here. If nobody gives anything, br3 is the default value. Okay, so this is input parameter, input param with default value. So we can also provide a default value. I'm going to be altering this stored procedure. So what is the meaning? If the customer does not give any value to the parameter, still I will be able to execute this. Now the always I'm going to be getting BR3. If I wanted to get something else, I can simply go and write my own thing. So this will get overridden, okay, overwriting by your default value. So default means what? If your user does not provide anything, take this as a default value. Clear? If user provides something, it is not going to be taking the default value. Now user value will be taken. If I don't mention anything, so I should be able to give a default value. Default value here is br3. Clear? We can create a input parameters with the default value. What is the advantage? You don't get any kind of errors so when you execute. Clear? So if you wanted to supply something, you should be able to give some value like this, and you're going to be getting your own data. Yeah, am I clear? So sometimes only you can provide the default value. For example, I wanted to get my balance. So compulsorily you have to take the bank account number. You cannot give somebody else number as a account number, right? So sometimes you will not be able to provide a default values, but sometimes you should be able to provide default values. One of the example is this. Okay, if you wanted to display some data, you can display some data, but if you need specific customers, then you can provide the branch id, something like this. We should be able to call. So now when you call any procedure first time, okay, so what are we passing? We are passing a lot of parameters, right? Now first time when you calling the store procedure, what are the things it's going to be happening inside your SQL Server? Let us read one by one. This slide is very, 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 very important slide. Okay, so understand carefully. Existence checks for all object referenced. I told you, whatever be the stored proc which you have created inside stored proc, whatever be the objects that you have used. So table could be an object, or the column could be an object. So whatever, or if you have anything else here, everything will be referenced. It's going to be checking now whether this is there or not. Clear? At the time of creation, stored procedure is not going to be verifying whether account master table exists or not. That's what we discussed yesterday. The feature is called as a deferred name resolution, right? Now, first time you're calling. So this is proc I have created. Now, first time I'm calling like this. First time I have called many times now. First time I'm calling. What are the things the SQL Server is going to be doing? The step number one is this: existence checks for all objects referenced. The second one is that validations, compatibility of column name, data type with variables used or parameters used. For example, I go and I have declared, I have created, and now I have declared this as an integer. I have declared something like this. Now I am passing some value. If you pass some value to this, whether 1, 2, 3, something you're passing. If you pass like this as a 1, 2, 3, this is the branch BRID is integer. You're passing this value to the account master branch BRID, and with the equals to operator, the same value is going to be coming. If you see carefully, if you see carefully, Account master table branch ID is no more integer. It may be integer earlier, but now it is a character 3. But whenever you give different data types here, and when this value goes here, when it try to gives the value, it is going to be verifying it should be character 3 or character value. But now I am supplying, I'm getting as a integer value. So here you're going to be getting data conversion issues. Integer value cannot go to the character value. Clear? Because you did not properly use it. So you may get this kind of an errors, data conversion issues, because compatibility of columns, data type with variables used, parameters used, you have to provide proper data types. Whatever you have in the table, same thing, just refer and what is the data type in the table, the same data type you should be able to use. Otherwise you will get lot of data conversion errors. That is the second one. This kind of a validation also it's going to be doing. The next thing, creation of an execution plan. Volume of data in the table. What is the data I have in this table? Do you have only 1 million data, 2 million data, 10 million data, 20 million data? So I may be having only one query, or I may be having joins here, or I may be having one more query also. I may be having one more query like this. I have a account master table also. I wanted to get some data from this table as well. So when you go to transaction master table, in this also we have a branch ID. So in which branch this guy has done the transaction, that I would like to know. In which branch this guy has opened the account. Clear? So you may be opening the account in one branch, but you may be doing lot of transactions in another branch, right? So same branch I'm going to be supplying here. But now when you execute this stored procedure, now you may be having 1 million data here, you may be having 10 million data here, and based on this, based on this volume of data, nature and the presence of the indexes, what kind of an indexes that the table has on the particular columns. Clear? You may be using joins, you may be having where clause, you may be having lot of filter conditions, group by clause, lot of things are available here. For example, in the second clause, you have used like this, and you wanted to perform a group by clause, group by operation in the second one. So in the second one, you don't want to display the complete data. You wanted to have, group by. So you would like to have, let me execute this table. I wanted to display, transaction wise. So transaction type wise. Okay. So whatever be the column that you have, that we can have it here. And what is the amount? Transaction type wise, what is the amount? Transaction amount. Okay. As total amount. Okay. Something like that I would like to give in the second query. Clear? So this is what I wanted to have it. Let me alter this stored procedure and try to execute. Okay. So now I had given, see, I had given an integer. I had given an integer. When I'm trying to call something like this, it is telling me for error converting data type varchar to integer. Error converting data type varchar to integer. Where is varchar? Where is integer? So actual data column is having character 3, but unfortunately you are supplying this value. It would have created here the value as data type is 4 bytes of integer. You're trying to store integer value. You're trying to store character data in your parameter or in variable. This variable is of type integer. So here itself, you're getting a lot of issues. Clear? So let me go back and say character 3. If you wanted to give some value, default value, you can give some default value as well. Now let me try to execute this. This got executed. Now I would like to call this stored procedure. When I call, so the stored procedure is giving me, you can call like this also. Okay, the stored proc is giving me, these are the transactions in BR2, these are the customers, and BR2, these are the, cash deposit, you have this much in the branch BR2, check deposit, you have this much of amount, cash withdrawal, you have this much of amount. Clear? So that is how you can specify. Okay, when you execute this query first time, I'm talking about first time. So what are the things it's going to be doing? It is going to be doing all of them. Volume of data, nature and the presence of indexes. What are the indexes the table has? Comparison operators. What do you mean by comparison operators? What is that I have used? Did I use equals to operators here, or did I use greater than, less than, or between operator? If I use a start date and end date, I may be using range operator, nothing but between operators. Clear? So what are the operators that you're using in operator? Presence of joins, unions, group by clause, order by clause. Based on this, it's going to be creating one plan. Who's going to be creating a plan? SQL Server is going to be creating a plan first time when you execute it. Remember this point. Not the second time, not the third time. Clear? So first time you have executed a stored procedure. So all these things will be done, and the plan is cached and reused for the subsequent calls. Clear? So when you call the second time, the stored procedure is faster because it's going to be caching an execution plan. So on what basis it's going to be creating an execution plan? Based on lot of other things. Clear? So what are the queries you have? What are the operators you have used? Whether you have a join clause or not, whether you have a group by clause. If you have a group by clause, what column you have used it there? On that column, do you have an indexes? And whatever be the columns available in the where clause, on that column, do you have an indexes? So lot of things it's going to be taking into consideration and creating an execution plan that is going to be cached. Okay. When you cache the plan, when you execute the same proc second time, what happens? The same plan is used, the stored procedure is faster. Okay. Let me give you a simple example. First time I am traveling from India to, let us say, America. First time, so I don't know how to apply for a passport. So I have applied first time passport in India. So I was struggling to apply. I was struggling to fill the passport application for myself. I've tried it, taken help for from my friend. I have filled it. I have applied it. In 15 days, I got the passport. Then after that, I have to apply for a visa, H1B visa or some other visa I would like to apply. I don't know how to apply, where to go. Again, I was struggling reading a lot of articles in Google. I'm inquiring my friends. I'm asking a lot of consultants here who can support me. So a lot of people are saying you go there, fill this, do that, do that, do that. First time I'm doing everything newly. For first time I'm doing everything, but I'm not sure how to fill out it. Every time I'm consuming a lot of time. So successfully, I have applied it. I got the visa, and I booked the flight tickets. And first time I'm traveling to let us say America. So I don't know. Everything is first time. It will take a lot of time. I've reached and I have gone there. So it has happened. After that, I would like to take my family from here to uh, America. Now, do you think that I'll take the same time? No, I don't take the same time because I have the experience of the previous. That is what is called, I have a plan in my brain. So where to apply, how to apply, how quickly I can get the passport, how then what is the next activity, what is the next activity. Since you have a plan in your brain, so second time when you apply your passport for your wife or a mother, it will take very less time to do the activity. This is what is called a, you have a plan that is cached in your brain. Because of that only you're able to do the activity second time quite faster. The same thing is implemented in the computers as well, planning a cache. Clear? So when computer is caching something, it is planning the cache. The second time when it is executing, it knows how to execute, what kind of comparisons it has to use. So all of them SQL Server knows. Because of that, SQL Server will be very, very faster from second time onwards. Second time only. First time, I'm applying everything freshly, newly. I didn't know what to do. But the second time, I'm applying for my wife. I'm applying for my kid third time. I'm applying for my another kid fourth time. Then mother, whatever I would like to apply the same activity I'm doing repeatedly. When you're doing some activity repeatedly, you are faster. That is what is called as a experience. But how you're able to get the experience? Because you have a plan in your brain. Let us understand, you have a disease. What is the disease? You forget everything within fraction of seconds. Then do you think that you can work second time easily? Because you have a plan now. After 1 hour, your brain cannot store that you have a disease, you have a problem. What happens? Second time again, when you're applying passport for your wife, again you don't know what you have done it. Again, you need to redo whatever you have whatever you're supposed to do it, because you're not able to catch the plan. There is a problem in your brain. Clear? So if you have that kind of an issue, then again every time when you execute it, it is a fresh execution for you. Every time you will take a lot of time. So human beings not like that, right? So whatever the quality that you have, the same thing is got injected in your stored procedures as well. This is what is called as a caching and execution plan. Clear? So technology is created based on the understanding of the objects in the real industry or real world. So that's how any technology can be created. Clear? So plan is cached and reused for the subsequent calls. Because of that, second time onwards, your stored procedures are very, very faster. This is a very, very important question. So people would ask you, okay, you have created a stored proc first time, then what happens? After creating a stored procedure, you're calling the stored procedure first time. What happens? This is one important question they'll ask you. Then you say that it is going to be creating a plan and that will be cached. Okay. How it is going to be creating a plan? So that is the next question. How? On based on what inputs, or based on what points it's going to be creating a plan? Then you can talk one by one. Existing checks for all objects reference. What are the tables that we have used? And it's going to be verifying that. And the validations, compatibility of columns, data types, parameters, blah blah blah. That is the second one. Third one, volume of the data in each and every table that you have used, and nature and presence of indexes in all the tables, comparison operators, joins, union, sorting. Based on lot of parameters, it's going to be creating a plan. The plan is cached. That is very, very important. Even you also will create a plan, but the plan will not get cached. Clear? So everybody will create a plan how to execute them, but later they don't cache it. So here the plan will be cached. Because of this only, you will be able to execute the stored procedure second time onwards. Okay, from second time onwards, the stored procs are very, very, very fast. Clear? So sometimes they may ask you, I have created a stored procedure and it is running quite good. There was no issue at all. But suddenly, 5 years, it did not give me any kind of an issue. Suddenly today, I'm calling this stored procedure, which is taking more time than expected. So 5 years, I'm running the same stored procedure. It's supposed to take, say, 1 minute or half minute or 10 minutes, whatever it's supposed to take, it is taking, that's fine. But now suddenly today, when I execute the same stored procedure, now it is taking more than the expected time. For example, it's supposed to take 1 minute. Now today it is taking more than 30 minutes. Or every day it is taking 30 minutes. Now it is taking 30 hours. Now tell me, what is the issue with this stored procedure? Okay. So suddenly it is not working. So I have a performance issue. How do you improve performance of the stored procedure? This is one of the interview question, commonly asked interview question. What is that you do? Clear? So the reason being, whatever be the plan it has cached, okay, the plan may be obsolete. It is using the old plan, but lot of things have been changed. For example, I applied for a passport 5 years ago. Now I had a plan in my brain. So then again I come back, I have a plan. With that plan, I'm trying to apply for my wife or my mother. Do you think that the same plan is going to be used every time? If nothing is changed, I can use it for 10 years, 20 years. Now lot of things have been changed, lot of offices been changed, rules been changed, lot of things have been changed. The plan, old plan, suddenly it will become obsolete. So because of the change in the processes, rules, and lot of things, because that time you don't have any people. When you go to the office, there are one or two guys in front of you in the line in a queue. You can get it done within 10, 15 minutes or maximum 1 hour. But if you go to the passport office today, there are 120 people. Now, if you see the plan today, and if you see the plan, the last plan which you have done it long back, so that plan cannot be used today. Suddenly, a lot of things can change. That time you had the data of, let us say 50,000 rows in your table. Now, suddenly last night, somebody has exported with the help of ETL 10 million data. Drastically, there is a data size increased last minute or last night in your this one. Clear? If something changes tomorrow, what happens? Whatever be the plan that we have is not going to work suddenly, because corona effect, whatever the available now, it is not available in the market. All shops are closed. There are time restrictions. Now you need to wait in the queue. So earlier you're taking only 1 hour of time, or any time you can just go out and get the items whatever you would like it. Now today, because of corona effect, what is happening? The shop timings are decreased, and you need to follow lots of other things. Whatever be the plan that you had, that plan you need to delete it, and you have to recreate a new plan, the new experience that you're going to be having today. Clear? So the important interview question is that my stored procedure is running quite good for longer period. Suddenly suddenly when I call the same stored procedure today, it is taking a lot of time. Why? We don't know. Could be something have might have changed. So suddenly, why there is a rush on the road? Could be some kind of a festival is going on, or could be Christmas season is started, something. Because of that, suddenly there is an increase in the traffic. So suddenly you're supposed to come within 1 hour from office to home. Now you're taking a 3 hours. Why? What is the reason suddenly? Because holidays have been given, or there is a bomb blast in that area. So traffic has been completely diverted from X road to Y road. So all people are coming towards Y road only. Because of that, the traffic increased. So you supposed to take every day 1 hour, but now you're taking 3 hours. Could be accident, could be because of heavy rains, something has happened. So why the stove procedure is suddenly taking so much of a time? It was taking daily 30 minutes, 1 hour to execute, or 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever be the expected time that you have it, it is now taking more time. Means something is, happened unexpectedly, maybe due to rains. Due to rain means lot of data got increased, or lot of data got deleted, or table structure is changed, or lot of indexes got added or deleted, or you have a rewrite in the stored procedure. So lot of new logic got added, lot of columns got added, lot of where clause got modified, lot of things can happen. So when you change suddenly, either a data when you change it, or the schema when you change it, or the indexes when you modify it, something goes wrong. The existing stored procedure will not be very faster, because it was using old plan. So every time you're going through road number one, but suddenly there was a bomb accident or there was a bomb blast. Because of that, a traffic jam. So you assume that you was having a plan. So I will get up at 7 o'clock, get ready by 7:30. 7:30, I take the car and I go to the road number one. You are blocked there. Why? You thought that I'll reach by 8:30 to my office. You have a plan. When you use the existing plan, what happens now? You're stuck for the 3 hours in the traffic. Every day you're using the same plan. What happens now? You're every day 3 hours late. Your boss will ask, what happened, Sanjay? You're taking 3 hours of time because there was an accident. So if you have an accident, you have to recreate the plan. So you need to look for one more path. So create again one more. So what you need to do, you need to remove the plan first. I should not use road number one from tomorrow. So you have to explore road number 10 and go via like that. So delete the old plan and recreate the new plan. So that is what is called as a recompilation. Clear? So recompile the stored procedure. When the stored procedure is slow, when the stored procedure is slow, people will say, when the SP is slow. So you do one thing. When the SP is slow, you do one thing. Recompile the stored procedure. What is the meaning of recompiling? You delete the old plan. So Sanjay was having a plan. I'll go always via road number one. Now boss is telling Sanjay, don't use road number one. You delete the plan. You explore the new plan. So next day, Sanjay using road number 10. So first time is again traveling road number 10. So when you say recompile, what happens is that it is going to be, it is going to be, planning to use road number 10 next day. Recompile means change the plan. So remember, whatever be the plan that you have, that will be deleted. And when you call the second time with recompile, what happens is that a cached plan will be deleted and it's going to be taking one more plan. The plan will be cached now. What is the plan now? Sanjay is going via road number 10. So now first time again is going, right? Road number 10 he never exploded. So is going to take that one. The plan is cached. When you say recompile stored procedure, so that means you're saying use road number 10. So until and unless you go to road number 10, you don't know what is that, right? So again, the stored procedure will get executed and it will cache the plan with the road number 10. And the next day onwards, when Sanjay goes via road number 10, it will be again faster. Clear? So now the new plan is called don't go road number one. There was a bomb blast, completely road is, completely damaged. So people cannot go. If you wanted to go, you can go, but it will take 3 to 4 hours of time. Instead of that, use the new plan, that is go via road number 10 or 12. So it may be 2 kilometers extra distance you'll get, but still you will be able to reach office within 1 hour or 1 hour 5 minutes. Clear? So that is what is called recompiling. What do you mean by recompiling? When should I use recompiling? People will say, so you can use recompiling to remove the old execution plan. Why suddenly I have to remove? Because procedure was executing perfectly fine till yesterday. Today, if I execute the stored procedure, which is taking more and more time, so that means the cached plan is not used properly. Okay, now I have to choose the different plan. If I wanted to choose the different plan, I have to say recompile stored procedure. Okay, so if I say recompile stored procedure, what will happen? So used to create execution plan freshly and cache it. So boss told Sanjay that, hey Sanjay, you need to use some other plan. So when I say I say Sanjay, you recompile your route. So when I say route, he's going to be exploring the new route tomorrow. That is from road number 10 or the road number 12. Am I clear? So that is going to be cached. Used to create an execution plan freshly and it's going to be caching it. That is what is called recompilation. So who can do? With the recompile option during the creation, a developer also can give a recompilation option at the time of creating a stored procedure. And with the recompile option during the execution, client also can give this option. The next one is called SP recompile proc name DBA. So let us understand where exactly we can use recompile. Let us understand this is my server. Now you know what you know. SQL Server or Oracle, it's going to be having stored procedures. Each stored procedure will have a cached plan. That's what you know. You have the tables, right? These are the tables where you have data. Tables are nothing but wealth of the company. Remember this. Tables are data. Data means this is the wealth of the company. Always you remember. And always you're trying to do anything, insert, update, delete, whatever you would like to do, you're trying to do with the help of the code only. So what code you're going to be writing? You may be writing a view, you may be writing a stored procedure, and whatever you have one stored procedure, and the stored proc being called like this. Okay, so you have a communication to the client and server. Now these are your clients. So you have one server, clients are plenty. All ATM machines are, your clients. So one server may have, 1 million or, 100,000 clients or more than that. You may have millions of clients. So all people have installed Amazon, app. So that means you have approximately in India, 30 to 40 million people are using the Amazon app. So how many people may connect at a time to Amazon server? You think about that. So millions of guys are installed. Everybody is connecting. Either you use your laptop or you may be using your Android mobile phone. This server should be able to get all the, it has to give what is that, reply to all the mobile phones. If you think that your app is running very, very slow, do you think that, do you recommend Amazon.com to anybody tomorrow? Right? So, but you don't know that many people are connected. Not only you, there are many thousands, millions of people are connected and buying the product. Now think what is the the thinking they would have done to create the server. They need to think. So how many people may connect at a time in India? So how can we respond? If they click on the button, how quickly we need to, say, give a reply to that. So you think, when you think this, it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. Lot of designing skills have to go, and concurrently millions of users are connected via different varieties of the devices. Clear? For each and everything, this server is providing. This server is called as a OLTP server, right? Normally we'll say online transaction processing, which is not very, very simple. It is not very, very easy to design these databases. It is not very, very easy to create a simple stored procedure. This same proc is going to be called by many clients at the same time, because you may be going to Amazon.com, click on something, a stored proc is executed. At the same time, I may be connected, click on the same button, again, same stored procedure will get executed. And one more client also will open Amazon.com, click on Android mobile phone, some same button, same stored procedure being executed. Now, if you see, in within a fraction of seconds, millions of people are clicking, click there, click there, click there. So you don't know one thing, the same stored procedure is being executed repeatedly, again and again, again and again, again and again. You think, how the SQL server is getting the data, Oracle is getting the data and responding back to the client. You should appreciate the server. Clear? You should appreciate the technology. You should appreciate the hardware. You should appreciate the designer, the architects behind the Amazon.com, how they have designed it. You never get any kind of a feedback saying that Amazon is slow today. Maybe sometimes Amazon is slow today. So that kind of a thinking would have gone to develop this kind of enterprise application. It's not very easy creating a table, dropping a table. It's not like that. Try to understand. So now, one stored proc you have created here. So I'm creating a stored processor. I'm creating like this. Create a proc SP1 with recompile. I'm writing like this. And as begin, I write lot of code here. I say end and go. Okay. So I created a stored procedure as a developer. That is me. Developer only create a stored procedure. So I have created with recompile. So this client application may be Java or a .NET. How they call, right? .NET Java people, they call the stored procedure, or maybe SAP, or maybe anything else. PHP guys, Android applications. So iOS applications, Android, iOS, all these are going to be calling them, right? So they're calling simply exec sp1. So when they call, every time it is going to be recompiled. Recompiled means I told you. Recompile means I told you it is going to be deleting the old execution plan. It's going to be creating a new execution plan. That's what I told you. Recompile means I have used recompilation option at the time of creating a stored procedure only. So that means what? Every time when I call the stored proc, it is not using the cached plan at all. Every time it is recompiling. Every time it is recompiling. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is very, very simple. I am not going to be using the cache plan at all. I don't need the cached plan. Every time I need a new plan. So when you go for this kind of a thing, so when every time everything will change, or you comes once in a 5 years, once in a 10 years, you do something and you go back. For example, I have a table of the election data. So now tell me, President of America elections will happen once in a 4 years. Do you think that the waters and everything will happen every day? Yes, everything will happen, a lot of changes will happen every day, but once in a 5 years or once in a 4 years only, you will be able to get a count who won the elections, or lot of elections results you wanted like to display onto the screen. Means all the data will be stored on the election date only, and the next day only I would like to show the results. Now this stored procedure is going to be executed once in 4 years. During the elections only the data will go, and after the election results the data will the results will come. Now do you think that the old cached plan can I use it today? Because today Trump, and you may be getting lot of votes for him, but the drastically it would have created, and lot of votes got created, and earlier we had only 3 million people. This year we had 10 million people, they participated in the elections. Lot of data will change, a lot of things will change. So that means old plan cannot be used at all. Every time you need to create a new plan, because the stored procedure is not being executed on daily basis, and the data also will change. Today you may be having 10 million people in the database. Tomorrow you may be having 20 million people in the database. So the data changes, everything changes, and it is not going to be run regularly. If that is the case, why should I use the caching the plan? So I say recompile. Recompile means every time you freshly create a plan and use it, because every time you are not going to go, and why you want to cache the plan. If that is the case, so developer will decide and think that, and saying that recompilation option with the create statement itself. Clear? So here, even though the caching is done, but when you call the second time again, it's going to be performing a recompile. What do you mean by recompile? Deleting the plan, recreate the new plan, and cache it. Clear? So this is the one option is given to you with the recompilation option during the creation of the stored procedure. The next one is with the recompile option during the execution. You have created a stored proc, simple stored proc like this. So this is a stored proc created by developer, and the client is calling like this. Okay, the client is calling. So Amazon people got a call morning 9 o'clock. Many people are telling me this, telling them when I'm clicking on baby products, it is not, it is taking longer time. So Amazon.com is not responding. If I'm opening electronics products or Apple iPhone products, it is taking a longer period. So people are, complaining to the customer care of Amazon.com. So started, they're getting a lot of calls by morning 9 o'clock. So Amazon customer care people will get Amazon.com is not responding properly. It is not responding properly. Some pages only very fast, other pages are very, very slow. So when they hear this, immediately the customer care people will, inform their bosses or escalate this matter to the technical department of. Okay, there are two technical teams are working now. One is called Java.NET guys. One more technical team called SQL guys. Because there is a database, people are working this side. Java.NET people working this side. So morning 9 o'clock, the site is very slow or the site is not responding properly, lot of pages are not proper, opening properly, site is taking time. These are the feedback given to the customer care of Amazon.com. So immediately customer care of Amazon.com will respond within 10 minutes to their respective teams. Hey teams, so hey database team, a developer team, so site is not responding, this page is taking a lot of time, please have a look into that. They'll create one ticket, they issue the ticket to the developers of the front end guys and the back end guys also, two mails will go. So now what we should do? Immediately Java people, .NET people will get alert. The manager will get Amazon.com is not responding properly. You do something. So the by default what they do is that they say execute SP1 with recompile. Clear? So this is the code they will write in the front end application side. So whatever be the the page which is not executing properly, the page may be calling a stored procedure that they will identify. So what they do? Exec sp1 recompile and they try to click on the page. When they click on the page, what happens? The page is going to be having execute sp1 earlier they had. Now they had modified the code. Execute sp1 recompile. When you click on the same page, now it is going to be recompiling. Recompile means the old plan is removed from the cache, it's going to be creating a new plan and cache it. Again, they will open second time the same page. Now this page is opening very, very quick, very, very faster. Now who fixed the problem? The fixing is done by the Java people. So developer can do like this and the client people also can do a recompilation option. Okay, client means Java people, .NET people, SAP PHP team also, instead of calling they can modify the code like this. They try to call the stored procedure like this. Okay, when they call like this, so then automatically the page slowly, the speed will getting increased. So in 1 or 2 clicks when they do it, so again it will have the new plan, new cached plan, so it will be very, very fast. So this for the client people, that is the second option with recompile option during the client. Or you have the DBA team people. So here, who's going to be maintaining this server? There is a team called DBA team, database administrators. So these are the people who are going to be maintaining the service, taking the backup, installing the server, configuring the server. Developers, we cannot go to this server. Remember this. These are called production servers. These are called transaction servers. Original data will be there. No people, no developers, no testers are allowed to this server. These servers are managed by the DBA team 24 by 7. These people will be available to this. Only a DBA team can work on this, so they can have access, they can do. These people cannot do any kind of a coding. They don't know what is a stored procedure, they don't know what is a trigger, they don't know how to understand joins, they don't know anything about SQL. So they know how to take a backup, they know how to install the servers, they know how to configure, they know how to have high availability. High availability means in case if there is a damage to the server, how quickly we can give the second server to the entire public. Clear? So we can give, say, immediately we need to respond to the client applications. Amazon.com is site down for 10 minutes means they lose a lot of orders within 10 minutes. Okay, so do you think that Amazon.com server, the SQL server behind the scenes, it may be crashed thousands of times, but we never knew that it is given within 10 seconds. If one site is down, if one server is down, within 10 seconds of time, automatically The all clients are routed to one more server. The time will be maximum 8 to 10 seconds. That will be the call. If one server is down and it is not pingable, it is not reachable, whatever be the reason, maybe earthquake in this place, the server is completely down, everybody's died there. So all the computers are automatically redirected or routed through different servers. That will happen automatically. That is what is called as a automatic failover. If there is a fail, if there is a connection failure to one server, automatic failover has to happen within 10 seconds. So you don't know that one server is completely crashed and all the connections are routed through the Singapore server. Before it was connecting to Switzerland server. Switzerland is a earthquake or the completely bomb blast in the building where the servers are available. Now, no damage to the Amazon.com database. You have a same copy in Singapore. All your Android mobile phones, all your things will get routed to the Singapore server. It can happen completely without any human intervention. Clear? This is what is called automatic failover. How much time will it take? It will take maximum 5 to 8 seconds. That is what is called high availability. So we don't know that we are now connecting to Amazon.com, Singapore. Earlier we were, connecting, Switzerland server. So that we are not aware of. Your Android application cannot tell you where it is connecting to. Clear? So all of them will be handled by the DBA team. So the third option will be given to these people. If any stored procedure, if any table, for example, last night account master table is loaded with 10 million rows. Okay, so DBA people knows that tomorrow whatever be the stored procedures are created on the account master table, that will be slow because it has dumped a lot of data, and all the stored procs which are dependent on this table will run slowly tomorrow. So that they know. So what they do, they will say recompile. These people will say recompile. Okay, stored sp1, sp2, sp3, like that, all of them they'll be recompiling. Okay, sp recompile proc name. So DBA team also recompile everything. So they will be dumping the data into this, and they are recompiling sp1, sp2, sp3, sp4, sp5 in night itself. So tomorrow when you call the sp1, sp2, sp3, those are will work quite good. Clear? So recompilation, this is the option which will delete the old plan. It's going to be recreating the new plan. So who all can do? There are three parties in this. One is called a developer. So that we can use recompilation option, and the client. The client people also can use recompile option, and the DBA people also who are managing the server, they also can use recompilation. Because first thing, when the server is low, when the server is not responding, the first call will go to DBA team. What is going on? Why the server is low? Why Amazon.com is not responding properly to the customers? Customers are, calling the customer care. So first call will go to the DBA team only always. So DBA team will respond. Are there any unnecessary connections? What is the CPU usage and what is the RAM usage? Are there any unnecessary applications got opened? Lot of things. DBA team will ensure everything is proper. Sometimes CPU spikes up. Okay, CPU usage on the server side 99%. When the CPU usage every day 48%, 43%, 44%. Suddenly today it has become 98%, 99%. So that means why it has reached 99%? So it is a application problem or is a server problem or any other application is causing the problem. So these guys have to diagnose the problem. If the problem with any other application, that application will be killed in the server. Clear? So it is not the stored procedure problem at all, which is a CPU problem. Because of CPU is 99% utilized, it is not able to respond to all other applications. What application is giving the issue? that applications will be killed. If it is not online application, if it is some background application, means that will be killed first. Clear? So you need not do recompile and everything because CPU is showing more and more. So hardware wise, is there an issue, or is there an issue with the TempDB side, or is there an issue with the space side? Lot of things may happen. It is not only always recompilation. Clear? Could be anything can also happen. Recompilation is one of the solution, but this is not the final solution. So if something is slow, you cannot say always you need to use recompile. Recompilation is one of the solutions. If it is working, it is working. Still, if it is not working, then people have to see a lot of other things. So the DB people have to work on the server side, and the code side, a developer, you and me, has to work. That is only the code side. CPU side, hardware side. So can you do something? You cannot do anything. Or network speed limit is got reduced. You need to work with the networking people, right? So networking people have to come and they need to work. So what is the issue? Network, the bandwidth speed is reduced. Then they talk to the networking guys, hardware guys, DBAs and developers and front end applications. Many people have to involve in this. So if you're a developer, you have to recompile. Okay. If still it is not working, then you need to open a query by query, then execute, which is taking more time. For example, I have two queries. Now this query is executing. When I say recompile, still it is not working. What I do, I open this, I try to execute this query, I give some BRID here, directly I will execute. Or I will take this query, I come down and try to execute it. Okay, I give some ID here. So now try to execute this query. Now this query is executing faster. Now there is a problem. I go to stored procedure, I take the second query, control C, come down. Okay, this is how we'll try to execute. In which query we're having a problem. So let me give the same value here, br1. I try to execute. Now it is working faster or not? Now this is taking a lot of time. This is taking, it is not working at all. So inside the stored procedure, there are two things. Even though you have used recompile, it is not working properly. Even though you have used recompile, it is not working properly, still it is slow. So now you need to understand, and which of the query is taking a lot of time. Is this query, or this query, or one more query? You need to take one by one, copy the queries, and you need to execute one by one. Then this is giving problem. So what is the issue in this? You have to give solution to the table. So now you go, you try to find out what are the indexes are available, and you watch my indexes class, please. Okay. So what are the indexes are available on this table? Can I do some kind of a index, defragmentation? Can I do? A lot of things are available. So that we can do it. So if there is a problem in this table, recompilation means a stored proc level, it has to work. But even though you have given recompilation, it is not working properly. Recreated the new plan, everything is fine. Still, it is not working properly. Now you need to go to the proc and execute one by line by line. You copy this line, execute elsewhere. You go to the second, execute elsewhere. So this is how we're going to be doing a post-mortem of your problem. Clear? So that is how we can give some kind of a performance improvements techniques, or we need to apply on various levels. One is at the stored proc level. Blindly you can say recompile the stored proc, done. But even though you have recompiled the stored proc and executed, still it is not been given the good quick response. Now what you do, you open the stored proc, you manually execute line by line, line by line, line by line. Now which query is slow, that query you need to identify first. Then after that you try to do something. So what is the problem with the query? Okay. So now you go to the table. Now you identify what are the indexes you have. You watch my indexes class, so that you will know how to see the indexes. Clear? So like that you can verify. You try to drop indexes, recreate indexes, or you do something else, so that you're going to be fixing this and try to execute this now. When this is giving fast response, means after creating indexes and all, now automatically this stored proc also will be faster. Clear? So recompilation is one solution, but this is not the final solution to improve the performance of the anything. Clear? So you need to follow some other things also. Blindly they'll ask you this, If stored procedure is slow, what will you do? You need to tell them that recompile the stored proc. The next question, if you recompile, what happens? Then you need to tell them that the old cached plan will get deleted and it is going to be recreating a new plan and going to be using in the subsequent calls. So I have done the recompilation also. Still, it is not working. What will you do? That is the next question. Then you have to open the stored procedure. How do you open? SP underscore help text stored procedure name, right? So you can get the stored procedure and get the syntax, complete queries and execute one by one. Then try to see in which query is being executed or executing slow, that you need to identify as a developer. And after that, you go and trace the indexes. How do you trace the indexes and everything? You watch my video so that you'll get some idea, and you follow some kind of YouTube articles as well. At least some performance tuning. SQL DB also can talk. Java people also will talk. Networking people also will talk. Developers also will talk. Many people can talk. It is not only developer's responsibility always, but as a developer, you need to answer the interview, right? So tomorrow, so be clear on this. Am I clear? So this is what is called recompilation. Am I clear, guys? So tomorrow we'll discuss about debug the stored procedure. Now, how to create a stored procedure? We had seen with input parameter. Now we'll see a lot of other variations, and we need to write complex stored procedures as well. That we will write it. But now you have to know whenever you call a stored procedure, how the plan is created and how it is cached. That is point number one. And if the stored procedure is slow, means what is that you should do it. That is what is called recompile. If you recompile, what happens? That is also you should know. Even though you have done the recompilation, still the stored proc is slow. Then what would you do? That is also one more query. For that, you have to identify which query is causing the issue. You have to take the query by query and copy and paste it and run it. And if the query is taking a lot of time, means there is an issue with the query. If there is an issue with the query, then open the query and what is the table you say. The tables you need to go and what are the indexes and how to create what kind of an indexes it is using, how we need to add more indexes, delete existing indexes, or what we can do. You just watch the indexes video, you will get some more idea. Okay, so you will not be able to do each and everything within 1 hour of class, but it will take a lot of time to understand performance tuning. Clear? But at least a few points you should know. Indexes is one topic you need to study well. That will give you to some idea how to increase the performance levels of queries, performance levels of improvement levels to the stored procedures, views, functions, and everything. Index is a very, very, very important topic that you need to study. Watch my videos and more. Watch some YouTube videos as well. Okay, I would have created. I would have simplified the sessions in indexes as well. You watch those indexes classes without fail. I'm telling you, because now almost we coming to the end. If you did not watch the indexes, means it is waste of time. Three topics you should know very well in SQL Server. First topic is stored procedures. Second topic is indexes. Okay. Third topic is the queries. Queries you should know very well. Stored procedures you should know very well, and indexes you should know very well. If you know these three topics, you know SQL Server 90%. If you don't know these three topics, you don't know SQL Server 90%. You know only 10%. I know create a table, dropping a table means it is only 1%. Clear? So if you know RDBMS means what are the topics we have to study? There are three topics you should know. If you wanted to go for the interview tomorrow, what are the topics you should study? You need to study stored procedures very well. Stored procedures, if you want to study, you should know temporary tables. You should know table variables, because everything we are going to be using here. We are going to be writing queries, everything. This is one topic you should know. The second topic you should know queries very well. Queries, joins, subqueries, group by clause, ranking function. Then the next topic is indexes. These are the three topics. If you know, that means 90% of RDBMS or SQL you know. Okay. SQL Server or Oracle, you know. If you don't know these three topics very well, what is the meaning of that? 90% you don't know in SQL Server. That is the meaning. If you know only create a table, drop a table, select star from the table name where gender equals to male. If you're stuck there, then you don't know anything. Clear? So concentrate on the queries first. And index is completely theory. You don't need to learn anything. Just watch, just like a theoretical part. The next one is that you need to write the stored procedures. Now writing stored procedures are very, very simple if you know individual topics like what is a temp table, what is a variable, what is a global variable, what is a if and else, what is a loop. So we're going to be using everything together in the stored procedure. That's it, nothing else. And we'll say create a proc name. So stored procedure doesn't have something special. But to create a stored proc, you have to have individual elements, programming if and else, declaring a variable, difference between variable and parameter, difference between temp table and Terry variable, because all of them we're going to be using in stored procedures. You know, how to use a truncate, how to use delete, how to use insert, how to use a drop, all these things already you know. If you know these simple things, that means you know stored procedures very well. Clear? So that is very, very important point. I strongly recommend you watch indexes that is given to you. And if you have any questions, you're welcome now.
Hey, Bhaskar.